In a big win for the security forces, Hizbul's top commander Riaz Naiku has been eliminated. And Naiku carried a reward of rupees 12 lakh on his head, and his killing would be considered a big blow to terror activities in the valley, as he was responsible for a number of attacks against the Indian security forces in the last few years. In the past few days, Pakistan-backed terror organizations have continued to create unrest in the valley. The big question is, should India strike the terror camps once and for all? Is this the time to send a clear message and perhaps a warning to Pakistan? And let's take a look at these ground reports which have been filed by my colleague Aris. And this was filed during the encounter and even after it. Let's listen in.
The intense gunfight between the militants and the security forces going on in Begpura village, where you can see more reinforcements being pumped in. In fact, the house where the militants are holed up, that has been blasted, and reports coming to us that one unidentified militant has been neutralized so far. There has been intermittent firing going on between the two sides, and remember, this operation was started last evening, and the gunfight between the sides started at 8 a.m. in the morning, when the contact was established between the militants and the security forces. So the gun battle here going on at Bagpura village. We are told that one of the top militant commanders, he is holed up in one of the houses, and he had taken position in one of the houses that belongs to his uncle. And now the reports coming in that one unidentified militant has been neutralized, but as I said, intermittent firing is still going on, so the operation is still continuing. With video journalist Zahid Fai, Harish Blal, News X, Begpura Tral. You can see the dust and smoke blowing out of that place. This is the exact location where the intense gunfight has been going on between the militants and the security forces. It seems that the house has been blown up by the security forces, and this is why the smoke is blowing out of that house. The operation has been going on for the last many years, hours now, because it started late yesterday evening, and reports are coming in that the top Hizbul Mujahideen militant is trapped there. Riaz Naiku and his associate, they have been fighting there for the last many hours now. In between, there were reports that he has been injured, but we are waiting for the official confirmation regarding that. But you can see the smoke blowing out of that house, so that means that the house is being targeted where the militants are holed up. With video journalist Zahid Fai, Arish Blal, News X, Begpura Tral.
All right, that's definitely good news. A known terrorist who was supposed to be the successor of Burhan Wani has been eliminated because of his plans and because of his schemes. The Indian security forces had been going through a lot of trouble. We lost a lot of personnel. A lot of people laid down their lives in order to deal with this man. And what does this mean for India? What does this mean for the valley? And what does this mean for Pakistan as well? A country, even despite knowing that the entire world is under the cloud and atmosphere of a deadly pandemic, continues to maintain its old trickery, its old treachery, and its old worn-out ways of dealing with the world as well as the country. Sumit Peer, political analyst, joins me on the show. Major General J.K.S. Parihar, defense expert, also with us on the broadcast. Last but by no means the least, Muhammad Ali Shah, Major, retired political analyst, joins us on the broadcast as well. Good to see you guys. You know, it's been a long time. We haven't met, but at least, technology helps us to interact and talk about the things that matter to the country. Muhammad Ali Shah, let me come to you first. Since I introduced you the last, I want to ask you, what does this mean for the valley? Obviously, a known terrorist has been neutralized. A known terrorist has been put under. The security forces were dealing with constant and rapid attacks on itself for the last couple of days. In the last few months, Muhammad Ali Shah, we lost about 20 plus security personnel to these terrorists who were trying to get inside the country. What does this mean for the country and the stability in the valley?
Vineet, it's a very good question. At a time when the whole world is fighting against coronavirus, it is very sad to see that people over here are trying to infiltrate borders and trying to create enemy, which was always there, but trying to make things even more tense. Now, there are some people who do not have the luxury to work from home. They are guarding the national frontiers. They are working and defending. They are there, the borders, our soldiers. They are people who unfortunately are not able to maintain routine. And this enmity has been there for long. We have tried everything possible. We have tried diplomatic talks, political talks. We have tried everything possible, but India is a very peace-loving nation. But despite that, when someone is incorrigible, our soldiers over there are only defending the motherland. And this means that, at this time, people call me up and ask me, भाई ये बताओ, ऐसे मौके पे इंडिया और पाकिस्तान क्यों लड़ रहे हैं भाई? There are neighboring countries, can't people unite? But this means, it's only going to show that I am very sad to say, it's unfortunately, देखो, our philosophy is हम किसी को छेड़ेंगे नहीं, मगर किसी ने अगर हमें छेड़ा,
तो हम छोड़ेंगे नहीं.
So it is really sad to see the way our neighboring country is behaving, because we have done all that we could.
Absolutely. And Sumit, coming to you, in fact, it was preposterous on the Pakistani Prime Minister to, in fact, react to these encounters which have been going on in the valley for the last few days. In fact, he went on to say that this is something which is being self-orchestrated by India, and he's putting the blame entirely on our country instead of addressing it. Instead of thinking that where will he get the money for the ventilators from, forget about ventilators, forget about beds. He should in fact worry about where he will get the money for the medicines and the vaccines from. He is targeting India. And it's common knowledge, Sumit, that this man who has been killed today, this man who's been neutralized today, very in fact, swiftly by the Indian security forces, was the backbone of this particular outfit. He was extremely good at recruiting people online. When it came to social media as well, he knew how to propagate the message of hatred in a way that he's not caught. So this is a big victory for India.
Neet, first of all, I would like to congratulate the security forces of India and the law enforcement agencies. It's a great victory, and this is very well deserved. Though unfortunately we lost a lot of people in the meantime, in last few weeks. It has been very unfortunate. This comes as a sizable blow to Hizbul Mujahideen, because Hizbul Mujahideen is never weak as it was ever before. If you remember, Vineet, this is the last boy of that poster or that photo which Burhan Wani used to put on the Facebook. Out of those 20 odd guys, this was the last surviving guy. He's number 3. First Burhan Wani, then Zakir Musa, then comes this Naiku. And I'm very sure within 24 hours or 48 hours, they will designate one more commander, and I can assure them, 101% you designate him, will kill him today, tomorrow, aaj, kal, aage, piche. Anybody you designate will die. He has to die, because if you pick up a gun against the country, your destination is sealed that day. You're bound to die. It's only a matter of time. We'll send you on one-way ticket to hell. That is what has happened with this, because he has been responsible for killing people of J&K police, army, paramilitary forces, locals, kidnappings, extortion, what all things he has not done. And let me not remind you, Vineet, of Dujana, who had 50 girlfriends. I mean, he used to impose himself on girls. These are the kind of people they are. They are extortionist, whatever you call them, extortionists. They disguise as terrorists. They are cold-blooded terrorists. Now coming to Pakistan, it is a sham that Pakistani PM is supporting terrorists. He went to the IMF कि भाई hydroxychloroquine खरीदने के पैसे दो. He doesn't have money for ammunition. He doesn't have money from HCQ. He doesn't have money from ventilators. He doesn't have hospitals money. He has money for nothing. He's begging to IMF to give him aid to treat COVID, and he is here supporting these terrorists. He has not seen what has Pakistan gained for last 30 years. You have literally gone bankrupt, and what will you get? You have come and fought 4 wars with India. You have lost all the 4s. And Vineet, why very ironical is when I see big medals on Pakistani generals. भाई मुझे ये बताओ, China के किस बाजार से खरीदते हो? You have lost all the wars. Where have you got those gallantry medals? यार, these big medals, and इतनी बड़ी मूछें रखते, भाई कहाँ से आए?
They're made in China.
Which is your trail of valor? Which war? Which ladai? Where have you got these medals? I think they have got a container, Vineet, from China. Xi Jinping must have sent it, and that is kept in GHQ or Rawalpindi. So whenever somebody goes, he picks up something and puts here. It's a free for all.
Right.
The world must laugh at this army and this, Imran Khan. You don't have money to literally buy bread, and you are talking of terrorism, India, and all that, and occupation. Haven't you learned your lessons for last 30 years? Go and bother about your people. He's talking of mental peace. I say, You know, with due respects, आप तो हमेशा भीख का कटोरा लेके घूमते हो भाई. Imran Khan साहब, Imran Khan Niazi, his full name. He is the nephew of great General Niazi, who did the biggest and most humiliating surrender in the history of mankind. Now this Imran Khan Niazi, who carefully hides his last word Niazi because people will relate to his uncle.
Right.
And now he is talking, threatening India. He is doing this. And what does he do as a part-time? भीख का कटोरा लेके हर कंट्री में जाता है. भाई साहब, aid दे दो.
Absolutely. Let me,
You know, we need the
Sumit, let me
problem is
also
if
get in
Imran
an
Khan
opening
calls
comment
today
from
somebody,
General Parihar.
you can be assured
Sumit,
he is
hold on to
asking
that
for money.
thought. Let me also get an opening comment from General Parihar. General Parihar, you know, it is unfortunate, it is astounding, it is bewildering, it is confusing that at a time when everyone is worried about not contracting COVID-19, Pakistan is behaving like a nation which it has always been set out to be, an immature and irresponsible nation. But we were hoping against hope. We were in fact praying against hope that Pakistan will not, in this fragile atmosphere, continue to peddle and push terrorists across the border, but they are at it again. You know, forget about the fact that the world community or the UN is not criticizing China about spreading the COVID-19 throughout the world, and not a single statement has come out from the UN or some of the other world organizations. These organizations were very quick to respond to the abrogation of Article 370. They were very quick to respond on the other things that India did, which did not impact the world in any which way. They only, in fact, rearranged the way we take our priorities as a country. But Pakistan, on the other hand, considered to be a stooge, a gunda of China, still continues to harm us in the way it is.
See, this my observation on Pakistan and China for last 40 years is same. I am 100% sure that they will never change, first of all. Regarding the actions of the UN and all others, China never bothers. And whatever the Pakistan does it is always with the link with the China. There is no doubt about it. FATF issue has been deferred till October. So they have a 8 months window. And Pakistan institutions, the governance is not a real governance. There is a total chaos. And ultimately the ISI and Pakistan army has to show their existence in the Pakistan civil administration and the Pakistan people also. This is a window for them to act in the month of April and October, that they have to do it. In long run, India is going to have elections in the J&K, so should have been somewhere in the September and October. So they have to unrest this process of democracy and peace restoration in the country. Regarding this issue, it is not a military issue, it is a socio-political issue. So India has to take a firm decision on it. Now the time has come that you act firmly with bold and decisive action. The decisive action is to eliminate this problem forever. And that only can be possible with a strong willpower of the government to go with it. I'm not saying that the government is not strong. Government has not a willpower. They have. But the time they have to choose. And probably the time has now come. Do or die forever is something like a situation is this. And we have to act. Now see that to avoid this FATF and other all sanctions, now they have made a TRF. They have made this as if the local Kashmiris, they are fighting against the Indian armed forces. And that they want to establish this new theory that, look, we are nowhere involved in it. It is their own internal affair. They are fighting. But this is something keep on going on. No doubt that today's the Riyaz Naiku's encounter is the biggest achievement in last 2 years what we have got it. But they will find, like Burhan Wani has gone, they have found Zaki, then they have found this person who was a maths teacher. And from there he has become the boss of the terrorism in the Kashmir Valley. So someone else will come forward. The time is to kill the major root cause. And root lies with the Pakistan army and ISI. And the issue of POK has to be taken on 370. We have done it so late. The Pakistan has done this type of activities of changing the border, demographies, etc. in the before 70s in POK and Gilgit-Baltistan. So one should not worry about it. Forget about that somebody will see what the world will say. World is not bothered about it. It is our problem and we have to solve by our own affair, and decisive action is the only answer for it.
Mohammad Ali Shah, after Balakot, there is no evidence to suggest
Correct.
that Pakistan has, reversed its sponsorship or tapered off its support to these jihadists and implemented any kind of a corrective measure. On top of that, we saw the Prime Minister of that country go on this malicious rant once again, criticizing India. And he's not been so vociferous, he's not been so vehemently talking about the pandemic situation in his country. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Correct, Vineet. I would like to give a quote over here. The quote is, when you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today. Let me start from 1971. What happened in 1971? We took over 96,000 Pakistani soldiers as prisoners of war. Pakistan till now has 56 soldiers of ours as the prisoners of war and denied their presence completely. The Indian families have written to Red Cross Society, to the UN, to the highest level. The Red Cross Society, they in fact went to the Pakistani jails to inspect, but they hit those terrorists. Now, Benazir Bhutto had given a commitment to Rajiv Gandhi that she will look into the matter, but that matter was never solved till now. A few years back, we had heard some trace of prisoners of war, of individuals on Pakistan, and they are still rotting over there. Unfortunately, I feel very sad. Now, in 1999 war, when we messed up Pakistan hollow, at that time, it was proved that the infiltrators who had come into India were Pakistani soldiers. And yet, in civil dress, yet Pakistan refused to collect the dead bodies of soldiers, saying that no, it is not they are not our soldiers. So we, the Indian Army, buried them with full military honors, gave them the full respect which a soldier should give to another soldier. Now, 2019, when Wing Commander Abhinandan was captured in Pakistan and his plane crash landed over there, that time, who was helped Imran Khan? Khalil. Imran Khan has got links with Khalil, who's got links with Al-Qaeda, who had helped him to win the election in Pakistan. And the largest terrorist training camp came about in Pakistan under Imran Khan regime. India kept asking, give us Masood Azhar, give us, but China was the first country last year to oppose declaring Masood Azhar as an international terrorist. And look at China today, it's karma. Today no one is with China. It comes back to you at the end of it. After our court, we gave them a befitting answer. सब कुछ try कर लिया, हर चीज try कर ली. And as General Pariyar rightly said just now, that they are incorrigible. They will not change. Now let me tell you, in a war, what happens? It is a mother loses a son. As soldiers, we lose our brothers. A sister will lose her brother. As countrymen, we lose our fellow countrymen. But it is politicians at the end of the day who will shake hands. Who loses, who gains? I'm not talking about any party. No, I'm not giving a political ideology to it at all. I'm talking about strengthening our diplomatic and political links if not. General Pariyar very rightly he brought up that he is not saying that this government is not giving. He never said that. He meant any government, any political party which is a ruling power, it is their responsibility to ensure that we have good links. Our government tried that, yes. Now, I don't understand why and how Pakistan refuses to understand.
Right, absolutely.
I think the UN must intervene in this. They really must intervene. Because it's about time. The society will not change unless and until we change our own selves.
Okay. Well, Sumit, unlike Al-Qaeda and some of the other terrorist organizations across the world, the Hizbul Mujahideen is extremely, very poorly dependent on Pakistan. They cannot function like Al-Qaeda or some of the other terrorist outfits, like LET as well, without the support of Pakistan. Having lost 3 of their commanders successively after that episode in 2016, what do you think is the future of this organization?
You see, Vineet, you would understand when Burhan Wani did that picture with 17, 18 guys carrying those Kalashnikovs and all, it was all on the Facebook. He used to send videos, and we know he had a lot of girlfriends, and one of his girlfriends sold him to the army, gave his coordinate. That's besides the point. But the point here is they were, getting that hero kind of a thing. They were making this terrorism into a hero business, sending in for social media, media channels covering those videos were flashed everywhere, the pictures were flashed everywhere. Now the good thing is that all those guys are gone. The message is very, very clear. Anybody you designate, look at Taliban in Afghanistan. The moment they used to designate a commander, the United States or the Allied forces will go and eliminate him. Now, as on day, they don't designate anybody. Don't be surprised that Hizbul Mujahideen will not dare to designate a commander, because the moment you designate him, it's a matter of time he will get killed. And if we look at the data given by General Dillon, around few months back, he said 65 to 70% of the guys are killed in the first year.
Your audio levels are
so if
in
they
fact
think the might of India
not
is
very
weak,
high.
if they think
Sumit, I
India
can't
is
hear you
weak, that's not the
properly.
case.
Perhaps try keeping the mic closer to your mouth, and in fact, try speaking now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Now, Vineet, if these guys think that if they can take the might of Indian army, with 400-500 boys taking Kalashnikovs borrowed from Pakistan, they can take a 3 million Indian army, which is the third largest army in the world, and we are the third powerful nation military-wise. They are dreaming. They have tried this for 30 years, and they can try for another 30 years. Nothing is going to happen. But they have to realize they are the cannon fodder for Pakistan. Pakistan doesn't give a damn to a jihadi, whether he's a Kashmiri, whether they send him from Pakistan. It doesn't matter. My policies has been take the war from Indian soil to Pakistan soil. If you have to hit the terrorists in the valley, hit them on the launch pads, and hit Pakistan army. Unless and until you're able to cause, damages on the Pakistan army, they will keep on making more jihadis. It doesn't matter to them who dies.
Right.
It might be Naiku, it might
right.
be Qassam, it might be anybody else. Tomorrow they'll find somebody else to send across.
I understand your point that
so
without
that is how you
Pakistan
have to handle
support,
it.
the Hizbul Mujahideen is all but finished. But General Parihar, how many messages will it take to convince Rawalpindi that enough is enough? Even after Pulwama, after Balakot, things did try, in fact, to favor us, and we did try to send them some sort of a message, but it obviously has not worked. How many messages are enough to tell Pakistan not to do this? When are we actually going to reclaim what is ours? I'm talking about the Pakistan, Kashmir, the part of Kashmir that has been occupied by Pakistan.
See, that type of a message has been given through the chain of the diplomatic channel so many times. And the Pakistan, by and large, they feel their institution that this is all they will do something, they will oppose it, they will be aggressive, some actions, and they will give a diplomatic resistance, but nothing will go beyond it. Now this myth of a nothing will go beyond that continues for several years, and partly it was broken in 2016-17 onward. That's no doubt about it. From a full defense, we have become an offensive defense, aggressive. Now, system is like this, that it is a civil problem, has to be taken by the government, and rather than trying to convince Pakistan, you have been doing it for last 40 years, 60 years. Right. What happens? Nothing has happened.
Okay.
So you act now. Don't bother about it. Don't try to convince them.
General Parihar, hold on to that thought. Muhammad Ali Shah, I'll come to you. But before I come to you, Muhammad Ali Shah, let me read out this weird tweet which has been put out by Imran Khan. He goes on to say, and I quote, "I have been warning the world about India's continuing efforts to find a pretext for a false flag operation targeting Pakistan. The latest baseless allegations by India of infiltration across the LOC are a continuation of this dangerous agenda. The indigenous Kashmiri resistance against the Indian occupation is a direct consequence of India's oppression and brutalization of Kashmiris. The fascist policies of the RSS-BJP combined are fraught with serious risks. The international community must act before India's reckless moves jeopardize peace and security in South Asia." Muhammad Ali Shah, coming from a country which has perhaps housed the maximum number of terrorists ever in the history of mankind. Osama bin Laden was found about a couple of kilometers away from the army headquarters in Abbottabad. Dawood is there. All the other terrorists, all the top head honchos of terror networks are residing in Pakistan, and they have the temerity, the PM has the temerity to put out such an inane tweet. Should we even take this seriously?
Absolutely, Vineet. You said it. Absolutely. You know, Pakistan, I feel, should by now, they should have been declared as a terrorist name. It's ridiculous. Blatantly, they are promoting terrorism. Blatantly, I'll tell you. वहाँ की जो आवाम, the population, the normal civilians of Pakistan, I'm very certain of the fact that they also would be fed up of this. Couple of years back, पाकिस्तान में स्कूल के बच्चे उड़ा दिए गए थे भाई, मतलब ridiculous. I mean, बच्चे, small children, मासूम बच्चे, उल्टी क्या खलती थी. But this country, I don't know where it's heading to.
Right.
Come on, at time, as you, when the world is uniting, joining hands together, after what hands, of course, at that time, Pakistan बाज नहीं है, वो अपनी हरकतें फिर भी करेगी. About 2 weeks back.
Okay, Mohammad Ali Shah, we have a paucity of time. We have a paucity of time. I'm going to give 30 seconds to Sumit Peer.
Sure.
Sumit, how ludicrous is it for a country to say that we are self-conducting and self-orchestrating these infiltrations and killing these people who we have hired to infiltrate and losing lives in the process? Our soldiers are dying in the process. Who's going to believe such an inane rant? 30 seconds for you.
All right.
No,
Vineet, the only way forward, see, soldiers are both the border. Like, I'll give you an example of France and Germany.
Mohammad Ali Shah, one second.
This person can say
let
Germany
Sumit finish,
and Japan.
then I'll give you another 10 seconds as well. We've completely run out of time. Sumit, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Fine.
You see, Vineet.
Yeah, go ahead.
With this man, Imran Khan, anything is possible. It's a circus of the absurd. If he can say Germany and Japan share a border, what do you assume of that guy? He can say anything. Now, what he is doing, he is saying a salute to his ISI masters. There are the people, this Naiku has been killed. So he has to go to Twitter, write something and to show to ISI that, look, I am doing something. मैं कुछ काम कर रहा हूँ, कुछ नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, तो at least tweet ही कर रहा हूँ. I'm at least putting a tweet and trying to cause some media sensations. Because his important army and he himself is capable of nothing else.
Okay.
What he is doing is
all right, we've run out of time. Mohammad Ali Shah,
nothing
as promised, just 10 seconds for you and then we wrap up.
Sure. Like the way France, Germany were firstly ending in Europe only from the duty line of the border, right? Before the eve of the First World War on 24 December, they had a friendly football match. But the very next day, they were back to fighting at each other. Similarly, soldiers across the border are not personal enemies. The diplomatic and the political links have to be strengthened. And how will that happen? India से कोई कमी है, पाकिस्तान की तरफ से जरूर कमी है. So we would require UN intervention.
Okay.
US intervention, superpower intervention.
Absolutely. Mohammad Ali Shah, I don't know if I agree with you or not, but the fact of the matter is that how seriously is the United Nations going to be taken once the pandemic is lifted? How seriously will some of the other organizations which have been leaning towards China will be taken? That is only a matter of time. And in fact, if any country that has lost some sort of a face during this crisis is Pakistan, because the only people they went crying to was either Saudi Arabia, China, or the UN and US. And we've all seen what's happened to them.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.